Hi, I'm James Burnham, and today we're going to talk about how to help student athletes perform better through mental health. Mental health is a really important thing in all aspects of performance, not just athletics, in academics, in social, in work environments. All of these spaces are impacted by a lack of mental health. And how does that hit us? Well, let's take a look at this, right? If you want to perform better, you want to be a better athlete, you want to perform in all aspects of your life better, this is a video for you. The first thing you want to recognize is that poor mental health will cloud your mind. Your mind is an important thing. When you're performing athletically, while it is a physical endeavor, there's a lot of mindset that goes into it. Pre-game, you've got to get out of the fear of how am I going to perform? How am I going to show up? You've got to get back into the moment out of fear and live right there, present. When you have poor mental health, this can be very, very difficult to do. The second thing that you want to do is recognize that poor mental health impacts your energy. When you have poor mental health, particularly if you're depressed or angry, feeling scared, all these things, they impact your energy. Your anger will change the nature of how you approach something and, in fact, drains from you the place that you want to be. You can harness anger and move it into a space where you can use it to drive yourself, but the best way to perform, if you've ever watched anything with, some of these kung fu artists, any sort of fighting channel thing, performance when you are in that space is best met in calm, not in anger, because anger will disrupt your energy and make you think things that you shouldn't be thinking or react in ways that you shouldn't react. Third, you want to recognize that poor mental health impacts your ability to trust yourself. It creates doubt within you, because when you're struggling with how you feel, what you're doing, man, that mental health, it can have a severe impact on your ability to trust your capacity, because you wonder, you're looking for outward affirmation, you're looking for somebody to tell you you're okay, instead of moving within yourself and knowing, I got this. Think of great athletes like Michael Jordan. Steph Curry happens to be one of my favorites with mental performance because he's so joyful in how he plays. Nothing seems to disrupt him. He can throw up 15 horrible shots in a row and still be smiling and come back and shoot again. And then all of a sudden, he's hitting the game-winning shots at the end of the game after having a dismal whole game, not able to perform because his mental health stays strong and he knows he has value regardless of what his shot is doing in that moment. He's done the work. The fourth thing is that poor mental health weakens our resolve to face the challenges that we're in. When you are up against an opponent in sports or academically or in work, when you're competing for a contract, the person that has stronger mental health will be able to face those challenges, adapt, be flexible, capable, when you might yourself begin to feel the weight of it and collapse under that pressure and then be unable to perform to the level that you know you can. This is why mental health is so important in the area of performance for an athlete, or really anyone. But particularly as an athlete, you want to make sure that your mental game, your mental health is strong. So how do you do this? Well, it can be difficult to do, but first you have to recognize within yourself, I struggle to feel good. I struggle to be present and completely engaged in my sport when I have certain things going on in my life. It's normal to see, and it happens. One of my favorite stories to tell of this is really not my own. It's during the NBA Finals in, I believe it was 2017, and J.R. Reed was a member of the Cavs, and he made a major mistake, losing the first game really because of the mistake that he made. And it was just the first game of the NBA Finals. But the devastating impact on that specific failure on his psyche was so apparent on the statistics of his game. Through the year, the regular season, he had shot over 33% from the three-point line, higher percentage from inside the three-point line. He's a great shooter. But after the loss of that game where he made a mistake, all of his shooting went down below 25%. He was unable to perform because he perceived himself as a failure. It had an impact on the highest stage, on the highest level, on a guy that has built his career around being a great shooter, and he was and is. But his mental health made him suffer in that moment, unable to face the mistake that he had made, unable to metabolize the pain of it. He collapsed. The reversal of that was Steph Curry, who had lost when he should have won the year before. After losing, he walks into a room, losing the NBA Finals, not the first game of the NBA Finals, losing the finals when everyone assumed that he would win. He walks into the reporters who are just besmirching his name, making him look like an idiot. And he says to their questions, calling him out for being a bad player, he says, I am not the leader that you saw demonstrated here today. I am better than this, and I will learn from this, and I will come back and be stronger for it. Now, there's some strong mental health. There's somebody that is able to meet performance, meet failure, meet this environment with a healthy attitude that does not infringe upon the fact that maybe he didn't perform. You cannot perform to your top every single day, every single night. And that takes great strength. In fact, I got a news story that I heard recently from Ben Zobrist. He was the MVP of the 2016 World Series when the Cubs won in Major League Baseball after over 100 years of being unable to deliver. He told me that during the 10th inning, even though he won the MVP, he attributes a lot of that win to one of his players. He calls him Jay. And he was an outfielder that was slumping at the time on a really strong contract, great athlete with the Cubs, but he happened to be slumping during the playoffs, and he got benched. Here's an A-list player. Guy's on contract. He is expected to deliver, and he gets benched. And, I remember watching that series, The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen was benched by Phil Jackson at one point for some stuff that he didn't like, and Scottie sulked. He was mad. He wanted his recognition as a leader. He wanted all those things. His ego got in the way. His mental health was not strong enough to recognize his value superseded this momentary benching. But Jay, he was able to, while being benched, 10th inning, the Cubs have lost their lead. The curse is looming. There's rain delays. And they're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, here we go again, guys. We're going to lose. Jay calls his team into the gym, the locker room, without the coaches, just them. And he says, guys, you are a better team. And he rallies this team. He, from the bench, becomes the leader that changes the mindset of these players and gives them the confidence that they need so that they go out there and they win and they break this 100-year curse that has loomed over that city and that franchise forever while sitting on the bench when he could have been sulking and wondering, why am I here? His mental health remains strong. He performed as a leader in the very best way that he could for that team at that time. Beautiful moment. And that is the power of mental health for an athlete. It will serve you in every situation. So if you are wondering how to improve that, you really got to take a look inside yourself, understand your emotions, and recognize that mental health is important. Don't avoid it. Don't just lean into your physical capacity to overcome. Engage with that emotional state. Use the power of your physical capacity to get curious and build yourself up so that you can meet tough situations and challenges and stay mentally alert and overcome all that you need to and succeed. This will help you in every aspect of your life. Hope you enjoy that. I'm James Burnham. Stick around. I got another video coming up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for listening in today.